must be delighted to get not just a deal done, but to have got a deal that's the calibre of someone of Douglas Costa coming into Sydney FC.
Yeah, look, very excited. A lot of work has gone in the background. Also, with our technical core group, Alex Pomuhan had some sleepless nights to get this over the line. So, look, we're very excited to bring in a player of Douglas's calibre to the A-League and also to us, to Sydney FC.
What do you think the sort of message that it sends to not just to the rest of the league, but to your fans as well? Because we have seen in off-season when there's been quite a few high-profile players leaving. To have someone of his calibre coming in, what sort of statement do you reckon that sends?
Yeah, I think it's a great statement to the whole league and for us as well as Sydney. We believe we are the biggest club in the country, and we do attract these type of players.
Just to backtrack quickly, what does that process involve of bringing someone of his calibre over?
I think you have to ask that question to Alex, but there's a lot of discussions, obviously. Firstly, if there's interest, then obviously it comes to the financial side of things. And also I want to thank our chairman, Scott Barlow, for also making this happen. Not an easy thing to do, but in that sense, so there's a lot of processes that we go through, and also Alex that goes through as well to get these players over the line. And obviously we go through the players generally look at how we do things and the way we play and what competitions we play in. So, we're playing in the A-League and also we've got the ACL2 to play in. So I think that's quite enticing.
Douglas has played in some of the biggest teams in the world. I imagine you've already spoken to him, but what's drawn him to Sydney?
Yeah, look, I think he's at an age, he's 33, he's still at a great age where we can get a lot out of him. I think him coming in, bringing his experience and knowledge will be fantastic for the group itself. I think the group will definitely lift with him in the change room. You don't play at that level for such a long time if you're not a professional. And I think the draw card to Sydney is obviously he still wants to play in a team that wants to strive to win trophies, and that's something that we definitely want to do.
Wolfie, in terms of the name Douglas Costa, football fans, if they're like teams overseas will know exactly who he is. I've seen him play in World Cups. There's been obviously comparisons with when Sydney FC signed Alessandro Del Piero. You were around the Australian football when that took place. Just how do you compare the two? Because Del Piero is still regarded as being probably the best ever player that's come to the A-Leagues. Where does Douglas fit into that model?
Yeah, I think Douglas is up there with that. I think they played in the same competition for a long time. I think different type of players though in that sense, but you look at Douglas's career and what he's achieved in his career, I think he's up there with Del Piero.
Douglas playing with some of the big names of Ronaldo and Neymar. Do the boys almost get a little bit starstruck seeing him in there?
Well, I think hearing it today, because we tried to keep it as much as a secret as we possibly could, and I think the boys, there's a few discussions that are probably happening in the change room at the moment about Douglas, and I think they're definitely excited to be able to bring in a player like that, and especially for our young players to be able to learn what it takes to play at the highest level. And I'm sure once he gets here over the weekend, I'm sure it'll be a different atmosphere again.
So we've seen sometimes the international players, it takes a little bit of time to get them over and accustomed to everything. What does that sort of next stage look like for him and for Sydney FC?
Well, the first thing we get over here, we'll see where he's at physically as well, and then we'll start to incorporate him into the training. For us, it's very important that we get him and he understands what we want to do and how we want to do things, and obviously outside of football he needs to settle in and where he's going to live and stuff like that, and then at some stage his family will come over as well.
And for you specifically, is it, does he sort of come in obviously being a star playmaker? Do you sort of start adapting around him a little bit, or does he slot into what you've got existing?
No, when we obviously look at Douglas, he's a world-class player, and the great thing about him, he can play in multiple positions, and the reality is I always set up the team to put the players where they can use their best attributes more often, so we'll find a way to get the best out of Douglas.
He a very big signing just for the A-League, Sydney FC in general, but he's also got quite a big social following. Do you think potentially, the Brazilian background will then, come and get on board the A-League and watching? I
think it's not just the Brazilians. I think people that love football, that understand the game, will know who Douglas is. And hopefully that, with his following, like you said, that he has on social media, will get our brand out there as well as Sydney FC. And also the football lovers will come out to see such quality playing within the A-League.
You've had Anna Swahim, Douglas Costa, Leo Senna. There's rumours of one more coming in very soon. If there's anything you can tell us about areas you're looking to try and strengthen and where we might know a bit more.
Yeah, we're still in talks or looking for a striker at the moment, and also we're still in talks with central defenders. So that's the two spots that we're currently looking at.
Just lastly, how do you think you would have gone tackling him?
I don't think I would have come close. So.
Anna, Marco, Vince, any questions?
Yeah, if I may, Uffy, obviously marquee signings in the A-League, it's not always been something that teams are able to nail. I guess most recently Nani, Daniel Sturridge have struggled. What is it about Douglas that makes you think this guy can clearly buck the trend and really get people excited and bring that quality?
Yeah, look, obviously we've done our research. He was at Fluminense just recently, still playing regular football, which is very important for us. We still believe that he's at a great age, and the discussions that we've had, he's actually very excited to get over here, which I think is a fantastic positive for us. These type of players, it's very important that it's one of those ones where we keep them fit and we keep them happy and let them do their thing on the park.
And I guess to follow up, Del Piero got mentioned before in terms of what bringing in Douglas can do for the league. Obviously, his quality and also how he lifts the players around him. What's sort of thing can it do to really lift both interest and attention that is on Sydney FC and the league? Yeah,
there'll be a fantastic attention on us. I think with these type of signings, we get attracted and everyone understands the game. And I think the calibre of Douglas will definitely attract attention from obviously within Australia and also over the world through social media. So for us, we don't want to get lost that his first job and his priority is to play football again. So we want him to be fit and do well and do what matters on the park.
Yeah, Uffy, just wanted to ask about what you learned from his time in Brazil more recently. Like, obviously, it doesn't seem on the stats to be sort of his most productive part of his career. What did you find when you were doing your research as to, like, was he struggling with injury throughout that, or were there other factors?
No, I think there was other factors. I think it's not easy when you've had the career that you've had to always go back home and then back it up, and especially playing at a massive club as well. So the main part is, especially for those guys that have achieved so much in the game, is that they enjoy their football, and I believe that he wasn't enjoying his football in Brazil at his last club, so that gave us the opportunity to step in.
And to have him here, I think by the coming weekend, I think he's planned to be here. That gives you like a month and a bit to get him ready for the first game. Is that about enough, do you think, given his record? I mean, you also have the Champions League stuff, I guess, as well. But in terms of the A-League itself, do you look at sort of using that block where possible to build him up?
Well, we'll try to build him up so we can try to make him available for our first ACL game.
Anything else? Marco?
Well, that's on September 19, isn't it? Is that right?
That's correct.
So about bit less than three weeks. So you're sort of confident that you can get him match fit by then.
Yeah, look, it might not be 90 minutes, but we'll get him to a certain point where we believe that he can play a part in that game. You got to remember he's been out of the game for a couple of weeks now, so he's still ticking over, even though it's not in a group environment. But like I said, once he comes in, we'll have a look at him, we'll see where he's at and what we need to do. And look, I'm pushing to make him available for the 19th, but if it doesn't happen on the 19th, it doesn't happen.
How many games have you guys got in the lead up to that in terms of trials?
We've got 3 games leading up to that game, so hopefully we can squeeze him into at least 1 or 1.5 of those games.
And if we just, I think the common denominator, aside from them both being Brazilian, with the signings of Douglas and Leo the other day, is Alex Baumjohann. Just how helpful has he been? It looks like he's got some pretty deep contacts, particularly into Brazil. No doubt you're hoping those will come to fruition for you this season.
Yeah, look, Alex has done a lot of work to get these players over the line. It's not just Brazil that we look at. He looks at all over the world, and he's got a lot of contacts through, obviously, the time that he was a player. Some of these guys that he's played with are now in football director roles, and that helps, or are agents. So I think the biggest thing in football is networking, and Alex has got a lot of contacts that helps us.